If you're viewing this, you're probably in lockdown already, or who knows, you might even be in isolation. You may have booked to come on one of the courses and not be able to, and what we're going to do is just give you a few photography tips. There's nowhere better than your own garden or the view from your own balcony or whatever to get to grips with some of the settings for your camera. Okay, so don't worry about the camera too much, and don't get camera envy whatever you do, because it doesn't really matter how much you spend on a camera. They're all pretty much the same. And the good news is, although they look very complicated, nothing's really changed since 1850. There's only 3 real things you can mess about with in photography, and we're going to look at what those 3 things are. We're going to look at the process of it as well, so that we can take some of the mystique out of it and try to keep it as unconfusing as possible. You may have booked your course for Humble by Nature to get off the green square. Lots of people that I meet are stuck onto the green square, the fully automatic mode. That's not such a bad thing. It's not a bad thing as everybody seems to think, but it will let you down in certain circumstances. In the old days of film, we used to have the sun behind us, and the green square works perfectly in that situation. It's when you start to do interesting things with the camera and turn the camera into the sun that green square is going to let you down, and so we need to do something else with it. So what is green square? Green square really is a fully automatic mode on your camera. I said earlier there are only really 3 things that you can mess around with. That's the shutter speed, the aperture and the ISO setting. And in green square the camera takes control of all of those 3 things and uses them in combination to get you an acceptable picture. That can vary, so lots of different settings can give you a very, very similar looking picture. So there's nothing wrong with green square. People seem to think that it's professionals would never use it, but take my advice, professionals will use anything at all that gets them the picture. It'll work perfectly when the sun's behind you, and particularly when you're photographing things that are evenly lit or of even sort of colour density, and by that I mean everything looks pretty much the same. If you look behind me into the garden, you'll see that there's lots of even lighting, and so your green square is going to work fine. The important thing is to know that it is a usable function on your camera, but it will let you down in certain circumstances, and I'm guessing if you're stuck on the green square at the moment, you're feeling as though it's holding you back, and you're looking like somebody who's just starting out and you'd like to be a bit more in control of the camera's function.